Welcome one and all to the Ocean Realm, otherwise known as Ocean Land by our friends over in the UK. Now this may seem kind of counterintuitive, but you actually want to skip this first stop here because there's nothing we can do there yet. Kind of ironic, since this is the only place shown on our map, and yet this is actually not where we're supposed to go. If you do stop here, you just talk to all the people and you'll figure out that you have to go to the far right side of the map instead, where the Ocean Sanctuary is located. So we're actually heading there first, which is kind of a different spin on the usual formula they've been using for these different realms. Now as you cross the water here, I'd like to point out that there are dolphins that are following alongside us. You can shoot them to scare them off, but whenever they come alongside you like this, cool thing is you can use your whistle to make them jump out of the water. If you do this 4 times in a row, you will get a recovery heart for your train. So this is a good thing to keep in mind so that after little battles and stuff out here in the Ocean Realm, you can then heal yourself. Also, there's these enemies, I suppose. They don't actually hurt you, but they look like Beery from other Zelda games, but they give you rupees when you shoot them, and it's not a lot, but it gives you something to do while you're traveling, and if you keep it up long enough, they'll actually split, and then you can get multiple ones at a time. You can make a pretty good chunk of money as long as you're just traveling through the Ocean Realm, so it's kind of pointless, but I find it entertaining. So up ahead we have a new enemy called a low barrier. They move side to side and will hit you if you get too close, and right after they attack, they actually can't move for a second, so you could run up to them, get hit on purpose, and then just walk right past them to ignore them. To defeat them, we need to hit them in the back, so you can use the boomerang to stun them while standing in front of them, and this way you can swing around to their backside and defeat them without taking any damage. In general, though, I like enemies that are puzzles to defeat. I mean, I think it's pretty cool that you have to figure out how to defeat them, and there's multiple ways you can do it. I think it's pretty awesome. However, I do like it when they're still a little bit of challenging. Like, even though you know how to defeat them, it's still, like, tricky to figure out how to do it. You have to actually try. These guys, it's kind of the only thing really threatening about them is that you just have to make sure you don't stand too close. Like, woohoo! So up ahead we have a puzzle. We have these cracked blocks on the other side of this gap, so what we need to do is toss these bomb flowers down pretty low to the far south and then use the whirlwind to blow them over to the other side. You want to blow them over at kind of an angle so that they go right up against the blocks, otherwise they'll often be just a little bit too far to the south and then they won't actually blow up the blocks at all and have to do it repeatedly. It's kind of annoying. So anyway, once you have them blown out of the way, you can use the boomerang to hit the crystal switch and create a bridge so that you can get to the other side. I really like the boomerang in these DS games, and I was so excited too, though, when I saw the whirlwind in the Forest Temple when I played this game for the first time. I was just like, yes, a new unique item, but as you progress through the game, I just kind of got a little disappointed that the whirlwind isn't more useful than it is. A lot of the stuff that you can do with it can be accomplished faster or even better with the boomerang, so we're reduced to just using our microphone to solve puzzles rather than actually fighting enemies. So, I don't know, one of the new unique features in Spear Tracks actually isn't used that much. So in this large open area, we need to open the door in the middle, which asks you to draw a shape, which is revealed by the statues scattered about the map. Now, if you know the answer, you can just skip straight to the door, but I'm going to mark my map as I go and get some treasure along the way. These Octoroks here can be a little tricky to get past, but you can bonk your way through with your shield. However, you probably are wanting to get to the other side, so use the boomerang to push them along and then hit the crystal switch so that you can form a bridge. Once you reach this upper ledge in the far right, you want to take a Kuko with you, and keep picking it up because you can snag some treasure with it here to the far south. So once you have the shape figured out, you want to go return to the doorway in the middle and go ahead and trace the shape on there. Now I actually think this particular door is kind of unresponsive. Like sometimes I draw it and I get it right away, while other times I have to draw it seriously like 10 times before it accepts it. And maybe I'm just really bad at it, or I don't know, I'm not hitting the exact points you're supposed to, but anyway, that's my experience with it, is that I have to do it over and over again. So if you're experiencing that and you're trying to draw the same shape as me, then don't feel too bad because I know exactly what you're experiencing here. Aw, come on. We killed crabs and everything. It's not every day you get to say that. Thankfully, Carben was considerate enough to leave a sign. You know, he could have just left that back near the train so that we didn't have to go through all this, but no. Anyway, he tells you to go all the way back to the first station in the Ocean Realm, the one that I told you to skip earlier. Now we're actually heading there. Now, I know this may seem a little bit backwards, but this is actually the order that you have to do it in, so don't feel like we went through all this for nothing. And we will have to return here, so, you know, this is all for something. There's a purpose behind all this. So real quick, before you go any further, you want to go to the far bottom right corner of the map and follow this area down a screen, and you'll unlock a shortcut back to the train. This way you don't have to run all the way back through the cave. And because we're going to be coming back here to the Ocean Sanctuary, then this shortcut makes it faster to get back to that area where we can play the duet with Carben. So, now we're finally in Papuchia Village, / Papuchia Village, and as you pass through the middle here, Zelda will exclaim, glancing up, "Faster than a speeding Segway, less powerful than our locomotive, able to goof off when he's desperately needed most. It's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's a Lokomo Carben." That was a silly twist on the quote from the Superman franchise, for those of you who didn't catch that. But anyway, before moving on, there is a quick treasure chest we can gather. In the top right corner of the map, you want to hop to the left onto this little island that has a chest. You want to open it to get some treasure. Next, it's time to bring Carben down so we can have a little chat with the old fellow, and if you already know the trick to it, you can proceed to doing that. Otherwise, you need to go speak with the village elder in the biggest house to get a clue on what you need to do next. Alright, so the old gal told us to find a hidden stone next to the tree that is below the birds. Sounds easy enough. You want to stand next to the tree and play the Song of Discovery to find another rocket stone. You want to go ahead and tap on it and then use your flute to copy the melody that it plays. This will teach you the Song of Birds. We actually can't do much with it at the moment, but here in a few chapters we will be using it several times to find all kinds of cool stuff. Carben will then await us on the train to go back to the Ocean Sanctuary. I don't really see the point. Why can't he just play the song here? I mean, you know, we can use our spirit instrument wherever we want. Why can't he? But maybe we just have to be on the edge of the spirit tracks or something so we continue them on, make them grow. But you don't really have to do that to restore energy from the temple or the tower, so whatever. Anyway, I want to go ahead and cross the water here, and you'll encounter pirates. Oh no! It's too bad Tetra isn't here. She could teach them a thing or two. Dun dun dun! So here we have a new enemy called Mini-Blins. We actually fought the mounted variety on Armo statues earlier in the Tower of Spirits, but these ones are running around by themselves, individually, and their goal is to kidnap Carben. I don't really know what they're expecting to accomplish here. Like, maybe they're going to... Are they working for Malladus and they're just trying to keep you from completing the spirit tracks, or are they trying to hold him ransom for treasure? You know, if they really wanted to do that, all they had to do is kidnap Linebeck. I mean, he's kind of a defenseless guy anyway, but whatever. So if they stand too long next to Carben, they'll toss a cage over his head, and this will capture him. So you need to defeat them before this actually happens. Occasionally they will strike at you as well. This isn't really a problem, and they drop recovery hearts pretty often, so you shouldn't take very much damage. They're defeated easily enough, so you shouldn't have much of a problem. Just be sure that you don't leave them alone too long. So if one of them does get up next to him, try to get over there as soon as possible and kill that one first, rather than killing other ones that are closer to you or whatnot. So always try and kill the one that got there the soonest. So once you've killed enough of them, then another new enemy appears called a Big Blin. This is the first time we've seen these guys in the Zelda series, and they're pretty tough. If you stand next to them too long, they will then hit you with their club, which stuns you temporarily. You'll have to rub the stylus on Link to make him not dizzy anymore, similar to being frozen. So it's pretty straightforward. Just run away whenever you see it charging up an attack, and then jump back in once it's safe. Just be careful about all the mini-blins that pop up too. The big blin will actually smack them as well, so you probably don't need to worry about the mini-blins coming from the far left. Just watch your map and save Carben if one of the mini-blins comes after him. Just a quick thing to note, notice how the big blin is actually wearing a necklace. This is the Pirate's Necklace, one of the mid-range treasures that you can acquire in the game. And these guys are supposed to be pirates, so it kind of makes sense, and I think that's pretty cool that they took the time to add that in there. So once you've heard it enough, the Big Blin will actually start swinging its mace on its return journey, so it'll actually swing twice every time. So just make sure that you don't get hit by that. Obviously, don't jump back in there too soon. So as you're delivering Carben, one thing you may want to make sure you do is slow down here to stop rather than slamming on the brakes. Honestly, it doesn't really matter since you probably will not make him angry enough to actually make him leave and get off the train, although that is possible, I suppose. Once you stop at the station, when it's successfully, then Carben will express his gratitude and explain how Force Gems work. When you help people, typically by carrying passengers or delivering goods on your train, this will make them super happy and you will get Force Gems, which restore some optional parts of the Spirit Tracks. This unlocks new stations, more rabbits, stamp stations, gates, and mini-games where you can earn treasure and heart containers. So this first Force Gem is given to you automatically since it's part of the main quest line, but for the rest of them you pretty much have to just pay attention to what citizens say at various towns so that you can solve the riddles and earn Force Gems. You can figure out what you can grab and where you need to bring it so that you can earn Force Gems from various people. This first forest gem creates a set of tracks on the far south side of the forest realm, which gives you access to another gate that leads to the far right side of the snow realm. So now we actually have two gates in the forest realm that lead to the snow realm. Kind of confusing if you were marking them with S's like I am, but I think it's pretty straightforward. You've used the other one several times by now anyway, so you already know where it leads. So as long as you got the shortcut earlier, you can just go through the right side of the map here to get back to the sanctuary rather than going back through the cave. And as I grumbled about earlier, I don't understand why Carben has to return here to play the duet. Like, as you'll see later in the game, the Lokomos can play their instruments anywhere, just like us. On a more important note, though, Carben's head looks like an ice cream cone, or a dollop of whipped cream or something. Maybe his head is actually a pie. Now, I don't really know what headpiece would be more appropriate for the ocean realm. Maybe they thought it kind of looked like a big drop of water or something, but I don't know, it's too white. If it was a little more blue, I could maybe see the resemblance. Should have had blue hair then, and maybe make him a girl or something with some bubble thingies in his hair, but oh well. Okay, so the duets are getting a little harder. Those crazy people at Nintendo have decided that now the notes need to be separated. Arrgh! There's two ways to do this. The first way is to play the first two notes, stop blowing the mic, then move the pipes, and then blow for the final note. Effective, but hard to time it well. The second method is to blow continually, but at the end slide the stylus super fast over to the far left side of your screen so that you zip past the yellow pipe, and if you do it fast enough, you won't play the yellow at all. This is probably the easiest way as it allows you to focus only on the timing. Alright, so with the spirit tracks restored and this letter from Carben, we now have everything we need to go find the Ocean Temple / Marine Temple. Join me for the next video and I will show you guys how to get there.